Adam A.K. Marv. Today's show is going to be jam-packed, so stick around. It is a live call-in show, so remember, call in at 224-400-MARV. We'll be right back right after this. And remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show, including our wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Do not watch this show if you are sensitive. All right, what is going on? My name is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We have a ton to talk about, including UK stocking up on their nukes. More signs, in my opinion, that they are preparing for something massive. Now, if you watch this show on a regular, you'll know we've shown you plenty of signs that the entire world is preparing for something massive. That really, I don't even think should be an argument anymore, but again, people have their debates. People are optimistic, and I get that. I'm not trying to be pessimistic when I say this. I just know that the current system can't work forever, and there will be a Rome fall of our time. Yeah, it's pretty sad and kind of bleak, but that's how I look at it, especially after all the things we've found out and all of the military in our groups. So remember, again, this is, it's supposed to be like that. Today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. If you want to support us, you can go over to NordVPN at marfuglenews.com/VPN and use the special savings code Marfoogle, and you will end up helping the show and protecting yourself against virtual threats and protecting your IP address. And then if you have been missing notifications, remember, go to marfuglenews.com. You can actually sign up for our push notifications. If you don't trust getting one from another platform, you can always get ours. That, again, will be directly to your notifications, and you'll know exactly when we go live, not 15 minutes before, the second of. And then, of course, if you want to follow along, all of the news tonight is going to be backed up. Every single show, we back up and archive every single article, every single tweet, every single video, so you can access it on our website. Now, when you go to our website, you'll actually see the thumbnail for tonight's show. It's very easy to navigate. And when you click on that, you will end up finding out all of the articles. Everything there is available for you. So you can grab a second device and then follow along, or even, listen to this as a podcast afterwards, straight from our website. So again, that is right there. And then at the bottom will be web-only content. There is content that is too hot for TV, so to speak, so that will be down at the bottom. If you want to support us, on the right side of the website is all of our affiliates, our Amazon link, and all of that good stuff to help support us. Again, a lot of that doesn't cost you anything extra or saves you money, and it helps the channel at the same time. Let's bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host. He'll also be doing the phones. Again, actually, it is Tuesday, so once again, I'm a robot, and there will be no phone calls. Dex?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam.
I'm a robot. I apologize. It is News Only Tuesday, which is...
I wanted to pull the puppet strings on this side when you were saying it, but I just let it go.
Well, what kind of handler are you being?
Exactly.
So, again, I saw another video saying that you were the one pulling or calling the shots, and I said to myself, I go, well, then what do I do, I guess? I guess I'm just the face. I'm just the face to the operation, I guess. Anyways,
there's plenty of shot calling to go around.
I kind of miss our independent, like our one of a kind intros that we used to do. I don't know if you guys remember those, but we made fun of a lot of the troll videos. Again, it was kind of fun for us. It was more fun for us than anything else. Anyways, I'm hopping out of my Aston Martin to talk about the UK to increase its nuclear warhead stockpile for the first time since the Cold Conflict. And by conflict, I mean roar. And is, of course, with the Ministry of Defense eager to launch co-development of the new W93 warhead with the U.S., an increase would be an overture to Washington. It says reports for the United Kingdom suggest that for the first time since the Cold Conflict, the country is preparing to increase the size of its nuclear weapons arsenal. It says by as much by 40%. The move is expected to be formally announced in the UK's next defense review, set to be unveiled in 2 parts, beginning tomorrow. It says you can read all about the other predictions for that wide-ranging review in this recent article. So again, you follow the money and you will end up finding out all of these things that are going into play. Today, we had some crazy stuff. Hot mic events happen with our lawmakers. We have put that, I believe, we did put that in our web-only content, did we not?
Yeah, we got that one.
Okay. There's a great video. I think you should check it out. It's regarding stimulus and people caught on tape. Definitely go check that out. You'll see a lot of the stuff kind of slowly comes out. It's oozing out, and I think soon people will realize, what is really going on here. It's getting pretty scary. And then, of course, the UK says it could now use nuclear weapons against threats from emerging technologies. It says the British government has announced it will change the terms of when it might use its submarine-based nuclear weapons. It says the United Kingdom has unveiled a revised strategic posture, which includes potentially using its own submarine-based nuclear deterrent in response to not only threats presented by weapons of MD, mass, but also by other threats of emerging technologies. We've painted you such a clear picture, it's not even funny. They are talking about EMP. They are talking about electronic conflict. They are talking about cyber warfare right here. This is exactly what they are preparing for. It is no coincidence that the military has been drilling nonstop in the dark, no GPS, including planes and jets, where they have taken whole states and basically turned off GPS, turned off all the stuff, including to civilians, so then they could, end up doing all of their drills, trying to fly without GPS, trying to fly without any kind of technological guidance. This is what they're doing with all of these bases. Every military member that we have that we've talked to about this says that if you are in those groups, like that's the cool thing to do. Everybody that's going into the military and does these kind of trainings, there's certain areas that military want to go into. Some people, want to be a sniper, or some people want to be special forces. Again, now it's like a coveted position to get into these night trainings because you get to use all of this advanced gear. You get to use night vision. You get to use all of that. Again, one thing that is changing is they have bought in so much night vision for the military that almost everyone is going to have kind of the basic setup. But we're talking about drones that are, night vision drones, spider and dog drones that DARPA is designing. We've seen some of these designs. Of course, some of the most famous ones is like the cyber dog that we've seen walking around in New York or Chicago or whatever it was. Those kind of things, are going to become more popular in the military. We're going to see a lot more robots, a lot more drones. Of course, the next conflict is going to be bonkers. I don't say all this to scare people. I really say this because people need to wake up to the fact that things are not going well. And after the last year of events, people should really realize that things are basically, things are happening. Finally, things are really kicking off. And if you truly understand what's going on, then you would be very nervous about what is going on. I think that a lot of people are very confused on what is happening, but it's almost like I can't remember who said it, but basically said that the craziest outcome is most likely true. In fact, actually, you know what? Elon Musk said that on his Twitter not too long ago, and I said it was a signal. He said that, when he was questioned if he was a T-Man fan, he said, something, and then he said, but the craziest outcomes are usually the truest. And I'm sure that there is some famous philosopher that said the same thing, but this is real deal Holyfield. We are now seeing all of the countries line up and do all of this. Now we are seeing our grid and every other grid around the planet starting to prepare. Now we have Tesla, proof that Tesla has been installing these huge backup batteries for military bases and for important places. But what's going to happen to the unimportant places, not the VIP palaces or barracks that they want to protect for the military? Again, if we lose our grid, everybody's going to go right back to the Stone Ages, and the panic from that is going to be worse than anything because people are going to be scared. People are going to overreact, and people are going to go nuts. It says the United Kingdom has unveiled this revised strategic posture, and it says includes potentially using its own submarine-based nuclear deterrent in response to only threats presented by weapons of mass D, but also by threats of emerging technologies. The shift was announced today by Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who also confirmed plans to increase the upper limit to UK warhead numbers, as the war zone has previously discussed. It says that the UK's integrated review of security, defense, development, and foreign policy, subtitled Global Britain in a Competitive Age, was published today as the first of two-part defense review covering the years 20 through 2025. And it says, as well as the fact that the country's stockpile of nuclear weapons is set to increase for the first time since the Cold Conflict. The report provides insight into intriguing changes to the country's nuclear posture. Basically, everybody is flexing their muscles. Everybody is saying, we've got this, we're going to do this if need be. We already have mutually assured destruction, or we did. Do we still have that? Why are they doing this? Why are they actually getting beefed up? Do you guys have a suggestion? What about you, Dex?
Yeah, I wonder if what's happening here specifically is by adding more to the stockpile, they're really adding newer. And when they add newer, they're being able to defend themselves or to actually make sure that they can operate against the newer technology. And newer technology can be hypersonic, but newer technology can also be electronic destructive, right? And probably a lot of the older stuff may not be able to withstand that as well. And so having new things will make it, and that's why they talk about being able to respond to that, not just, the big boomers, but being able to respond to the new technology, probably with a big boomer, right?
Yeah, and especially responding to different science that now is commonplace. We have new technologies that are been kicked in. In fact, a lot of these technologies, what is even crazier is a lot of the drone technology has been picked up from commercial purposes. And what I see is that the commercial drone or the civilian drone industry, a few years back when the military saw what could be done with this technology, they basically said, no, we need to snatch up everything and we need to change the way that the laws work. They had a meeting at the White House. They said, hey, we need to change everything around the planet as far as these drones are concerned. Other leaders met. I guarantee you, UN and all of these different leaders met about drones. This is a few years back, because a lot of the displays that you had, these companies that were making this new kind of civilian drone technologies, all of them were getting snatched up by DARPA, getting snatched up by military. I had a friend that was really, really into this technology. He does FPV drone. He does all that kind of stuff. I do, the DJI kind of more simple, idiot-proof drones, and now those are getting restricted. But when he would go to these and he would set up a booth of his own because he would make little skins and things for him, he said that all of these people around him were getting picked up and basically the DOD was there giving cards out saying, hey, we'll get this product. You'll have a contract. You don't have to worry about selling this to the public. And that was what was happening 3 years in a row when he would go to these different conferences. And he said he couldn't believe how much of the technology was getting scooped up. At the same time, we saw that all of the laws were slowly changing now towards industry and towards corporations. Of course, the corporations and the military are definitely connected at this point. The military-industrial complex is one of the strongest things out there. And one thing that they need is they need a reason to use and buy all of this, because they can set the prices, they can do all of these things with these corporations and then pocket the change, in my opinion. So with everything that's going on with drone technology, now civilians, in just a couple of years, you basically won't be able to put a drone up, not without getting clearance, having a pilot's license, or if you do have one, it's going to be tracked to the point where, you're going to have 50 feet and 40 feet to the side, and you're going to have to pay $8 for the right to go up 10 feet. Some say it's a good thing because of how drones have been used. Some people are annoyed by drones, but somebody like me who always goes to a public park, puts it up, gets a sunset, something like that, or, does it safely and doesn't ever fly above people, it sucks. But this is what's happening, and this is key signs. China is now making drones that are not only EMP drones, they have small nuclear devices strapped onto these bigger drones, and they also have these kind of drone cannons these trucks that will pull up. They've been in movies already because these things exist on our side, and it's no longer, a fiction. These are all real. The last one was in, I want to say, Angel Has Fallen, the corny action movie with what's his face. I always get the Gladiator guy, whatever his name is. I think it's the Gladiator, Russell Crowe, or it's the other one. It's the other one, the Russell Crowe and the other guy from A Beautiful Mind. I always get those two confused. Either way, that movie showed you a scene where there was 40 holes. It almost looks like one of those fireworks that you buy at a fireworks stand that has 40 tubes, and it shoots out 40 fireworks. It looks like that, but it comes out of a truck and it launches drones. Then those drones are individually equipped with AI, facial recognition, and everything else, so it can actually take the database that it has online, because it has internet connection, find who your face is, and immediately identify you, and then decide if you are a target or not. This sounds like fan fiction. This sounds like Blade Runner, but it is now the truth. And now, like Watch Dogs Legions is a game that came out, if anyone ever played that. That is the future. Drones flying everywhere. Chase drones, news drones, everything else. News are trying to get approval for this because, think about it, instead of having these guys go out and chase the scene, if you have a system of drones flying above the city, you will always have coverage of different events like fires and car accidents and things like that. Pretty crazy. They're even talking about parking drones in different places on top of street lights. So if they want to access that street corner, they would, basically say, 45th and Ableton Street. And then the thing would plug and charge on top of a street pole, go up, take off, and then get its seen. Pretty crazy. Dex, will you confirm? I think something just happened on DLive, but I can't see what it was.
Stormy Weather flew a jet in, and she says, or they say, much love, Adam, Dex, and fam. God is in control. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stormy Weather. Thank you again. That helps support us. We are truly independent. You know this, though. You are a longtime Fugle fan member. Thank you for being here for, 3 years, and for the fact that you have not turned off yet or been affected or offended is really a huge deal. Same with people like Lisa K. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of your support. Kelly2334, same thing. You guys are all great supporters of the channel, and we really do appreciate it. So, again, it says, as a result, the UK will in the future have an overall nuclear weapons stockpile of no more than 260 warheads, armed the Trident missiles used aboard its 4 nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, or SSBNs, one of which is always on patrol. One, on the other hand, is contradictorily, the UK remains committed to the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons of 1968. So that international treaty, almost no one is, everybody is doing this now. So it sounds like there's just way, way too much going on. And then we have NK readying to carry out first nuke weapons test since B took office. U.S. intelligence finds. Another thing that I find funny is he hasn't been taking calls from the B administration. I don't know what's up with that. Same with, China and NK not talking to him. Sort of weird. It's almost like they're, not trying to talk to each other almost too much. It says NK is allegedly preparing to carry out its first nuclear weapons test since President took office, United States intelligence has learned. So, again, NK is going to be taken off. I was looking at the previous 3 years. NK had all of these events where they basically, did their test days during actual nuke talks. They always have the weirdest timing with their launches. Dex, have you noticed that? They always launch during, last time. One of the last times they were in the middle of a nuclear kind of talk about how to tone down nuclear weapons, and then they ended up testing a missile, and I think it flew over Japan.
Exactly. Yeah, they're always, they add to the pomp of of testing to make sure to do it in a way that gets the most attention. I mean, for example, this information is coming out, or we're seeing all this new stuff happen between, the superpowers around the world. Well, it's ideal time for them to pop in and say, hey, don't forget about us, right?
Yeah. What isn't it funny? Like during T-Man's reign, we heard about him for a while, but then after, I almost want to say T-Man just like kind of slapped it down, and then he was like, okay, I am Rocket Man, you're nuts. And then all of a sudden, it seems like NK is going to come back into the picture. Mind you, NK is used a lot for fear. It seems like, we don't actually see a video of NK Kim talking. Again, what happened with the whole thing where he got surgery and his sister took on power? I'll just to remind a lot of people, there was a scenario about a year ago where NK leader Kim, the crazy Kim, who killed his uncle with a anti-air, had an incident. And I was out with my family, and actually, Dex, I don't know if you remember calling me, but you were like, hey, Kim might have been taken out. And nobody knew what was going on. He just disappeared, and they said that he might have died. Do you remember this, Dex?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was all over the place. Everybody was, it was trending for days on Twitter.
I was at the park with my family, and I'm thinking, and there was a in the back of my head thinking, what would be the response from that if that doctor messed up and whatever. Then there was question if he was even alive. They said, oh no, he's alive and he's recovering. But one thing that came to our head right that day is previously they said he was not healthy, and then Dennis Rodman, which is the most random name to bring out, but Dennis Rodman is a old professional basketball player. If you don't know who he is, then you've probably been under a rock. He was the basketball player with all the crazy colored hair. He was very close with Kim. They loved him over there in NK. They would fly him out. They would have him do dinner, and they partied together. It's the weirdest relationship, and basically Rodman is not afraid of Kim, even goes over there and parties and hangs out. A lot of people have criticized him for this, whatever. But Rodman is so close that he talks to them on a regular basis, and he said, he's like, I can't really talk because of our relationship, but he said this. He goes, if you start seeing his sister speak more in public, then there is a serious problem. And that is all he had to say. And then, boom, the surgery happened, and then all of a sudden, his sister is now doing all the talking, including the last warning that she gave, which I believe was yesterday. So, is his sister in charge?
That was yesterday. That was yesterday, and this is just military intelligence. This isn't Kim coming out, right? But yeah, yesterday was the sister, and she gave a pretty stern threat. I can quote it for you if you want. It was Yeah, she said, quote, we take this opportunity to warn the new U.S. administration trying hard to give off powder smell in our land. If it wants to sleep in peace for coming 4 years, it had better refrain from causing a stink at its first step. She was really putting it out there. And like you said, the sister was talking, not Kim.
It's weird. Is Kim even still around? But my main point going back to it is they always use him. What if they wrote an article that said, hey, from our sources, he said this? Sometimes it works like that where we don't get a video. Have you ever, how many times have you seen a video of him directly talking and it being translated? Not many times at all. So technically all I'm saying is my skeptical mind thinks that maybe they could write an article, one of the New York Times or something could write, from our source in NK says that he's going to attack us this year. Everybody gets scared. Then there's a couple, reported launches or test launches, and then everybody is kind of kept in line and afraid of them. And then they can quietly kind of pass something through that would support whatever they're doing. Just seems to me like something like that happens a lot. Walk With Me 76 says they found more scrolls in a cave in Israel today. I know. Isn't that crazy? Dead Sea Scrolls. So I believe we have that later on in the show, or we have it attached to the show. Yes, they found more Dead Sea Scrolls from ancient times in a cave, which is just nuts. And then Walk With Me says, new scrolls found today. I know, that is absolutely nuts. And then Travis Morris, thank you so much for your support. Kret Timia Snip, thank you so much for being there before the show. Misunderstood 129 says, my daughter seen a meteor. She said the size of the moon glowing blue at 7:45. And then we have Keith and Queen Brat says, hey, Adam, Dex, Mods, and Fugel fam, after being off work for 2.5 months, the Queen Brat and I are back and in the truck spreading the gospel news of Marfugel views. I think that was the gospel views of the Marfugel news. I think it was backwards. Prep up, pray up, God bless you all. And then two old people on a couch says, here in Oklahoma, we had rolling blackouts and our water plant was down for 1 hour and our town didn't have water for a week or more. It won't take much to take down our utilities. I believe that says, love you guys. So just so you heard that again, in Oklahoma, they had rolling blackouts where their water plant went down for 1 hour, and it caused a week of no water. I believe we talked to you on the phone, and you said that, basically you were out without water, and some of your neighbors did have water, which is crazy. And then last night's call from Ann, from the Ann Lynn Show. If you guys haven't checked them out, the Groovy Grandmas, they basically said that, they had no water for a week because of something happening, and they didn't realize, how we take these things for granted. We're going to take everything for granted. It's a huge deal. And then RA55, thank you for your support. Again, I hope to see one of your videos on Unidentified. And then, of course, Survival Living, thank you so much. A.K.A. Central Florida Prepper, thank you again. And then John Raxness, just doing my part, don't forget my name on this special thing. Miss Marie, Jesus is the way, no fear, and God by your side. John Raxness, I did last night and will tonight as well. Bass Shadow, thank you for working for years on getting news out to be known. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. All right, and then the main point is, this isn't gonna stop happening, and I would say don't pay too much attention to it. But when it does happen, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna hit us in the side of the head. There's only really one thing that we can do, and that is to prepare ourselves mentally and walk through scenarios and talk about this with family. Don't make it a taboo subject. Don't make it a scary fear-mongering thing. Just make it what we should make it. It's a reality, and it's a possibility that something bad could happen. So we should talk about that and have fun doing it. That's the problem with people. They think that they can't, have fun and talk about these things. But guess what? If your kids have no idea about earthquakes, tornadoes, twisters, nukes, asteroids, or any of that stuff, what happens when it does happen? A terribly unprepared mess. That's what happens. So remember that. There's things you can do to prepare for it. I would hope that you do. If you have not seen our affiliate, again, our affiliate is there for a reason. We actually use it because we believe it is going to save lives. If you have not worked with EMP Shield, EMP Shield is the same company that agencies like DOD and DHS are currently using. And then you've got, of course, the DEMSO team officially using EMP Shield to help them prep their Texas grid. Same with Tesla. Go to marfugelnews.com/EMP if you want more information. Again, this is a device. There's many different devices, one for your home, one for your generator, one for your car, the most popular being the car. You can wire it in yourself to your car, and boom, you're not stuck after an EMP or 40 EMPs. Again, this is Keystone Military tested. I highly, highly recommend you at least looking at this. Again, marfugelnews.com/EMP. It will also protect you against natural solar flares, such as the Carrington event that happened over 100 years ago, and that is overdue. All right, and then back into it, Dex. So this one is how China is building nightmarish surveillance state with cameras checking emotions and tracking social credit with AI. Now, you are, of course, a tech guy. You have worked in tech companies. You understand kind of, how this stuff works. How is this different from what they've been doing?
Well, I think what we're seeing is a larger investment now. We've talked about in general, oh, well, they had cameras that could pick you up here and there. Well, now they're enhancing the amount of cameras. Now they're enhancing the amount of AI that can actually program that. Everything from just like checking your emotions and using that in your credit score, your social credit score, to say if this person's emotions
Depressed.
don't look right. Yeah, we're gonna mark them a certain way. We're gonna disable their ability to have access to the this location or getting on the bus or whatever it may be, right? So it just seems to be, it's not just they did it and now we don't need to talk about it anymore. It's that they've done it and they're investing so heavily in it. Like every month they're adding more and more, and they're coming up with more and more technology and just doubling down on this as a way to control and manage their population.
With over 1.4 billion people, it's one of the most populous places in the world, one of the most jam-packed. This is scary because I understand that countries around the world do secretly want to do the same thing. Our country wants to do it, or at least the corporations behind our country do. They want to track and they want to trace and they want to get our emotional status. They want to know what makes us happy. They want to know what makes us sad. They want to know what, turns us on and turns us off and every little thing in between. So they want to know what triggers us and what makes us angry, because guess what? If they can trigger us, they also can trigger sales. They can also trigger this, that. On Facebook, one of their big tricks was, I don't know if you realize this, but a lot of the political stuff was actually put out by companies. And they would start something, get people fired up, and then attach it, and they would get billions and millions of views. But there was a reason for that. Dex, can you tell people kind of what they would do with that? How they would harness that to actually get people to buy things, or how they would kind of turn that into business?
Well, from a million, from having the ability to control up to 1 million people that can create information, whether it's correct information or disinformation, that same power gives them the ability to sort of create waves or create buzz or create interest, whether it be real or fake, or taking some real interest and overdriving it, right? So having that capability, and then also having it with bots and bot technology where they can do that, and create that sort of artificial excitement or energy around different topics and or trends that may be happening, whether it's on a social network or on even on a buying platform.
And remember,
like even Amazon.
And remember, Facebook has something like 40,000 employees that are there for trust and safety team. They, look at videos and they'll go, oh, that's not okay. This isn't okay. Or they can even, rank it higher. They say, okay, this is actually a better video. We need this higher on the ranking. China has 1 million employees on the payroll that are basically in the internet, and their full-time job is to do these different kinds of things. Whatever the goal is of China, these people get it down the line and then go out into the internet world. They could do anything with that. Most websites, it only takes a couple 100,000 at most to get something trending or to get something to the top. They could do anything. They can guide you any which way. And then when you go that way, they can put ads, they can put things there, they can put trackers, they can put bugs, they can put all sorts of things. It's really crazy how far this has come in such a short period of time. This is not, people go, oh, we don't care because it's over there. This is a system that our people are taking examples from and saying, okay, well, we're going to slowly do that too. We're spying on them and seeing what works. And guess what? We're going to take that. We have the Five Eyes system looking at every other country and saying, okay, they have a cool system there. We need to copy that. Because technically they want the same power that China has over us. You think they don't?
Yeah. Imagine a honeypot. They can actually create honeypots in their public domain, right? They can put up billboards of 2 different styles of messaging, right? Even a little subliminal, but then they can monitor how many eyeballs and whose eyeballs look and spend more time at one versus the other. And they can actually, from that, determine what it is you like or think.
I think it's absolutely nuts. It says the sheer level of surveillance being planned is straight out of the dystopia created by author George Orwell in his book, 1984, where the eyes of the state, Big Brother, are always watching. But now it is being made easy with 21st century spy technology. It comes as privacy campaigners told The Sun Online that China's success in developing technology not only threatens the human rights of Chinese citizens, but people across the world. This is exactly what we've said. This is going to set up for, this to come all over the place. It's nuts. It says domestically, the most frightening part is that many people inside China remain unaware of the true scope of surveillance and still welcome it as a source of security. Do you see how this works? It protects you. They feel safer. We feel safer. Gosh, after 2001, I want you to be up in my text messages. I need you in there. I need you there. And I'm sure random Bob needs you in there when he's sexting. Because he needs to be protected. It's scary. Says in programs such as Sharp Eyes, which I thought was kind of a funny and almost, I'm not even going to say it, local governments nationwide have successfully convinced citizens to take part in surveilling each other. They really called it Sharp Eyes, like point eyes. Just saying. I wouldn't do it. Not in a million years. I wouldn't call it that. Jetpacks are on their way to a battlefield near you. Now, when you think of jetpacks, you think of a video game, you think of GTA, or you think of a Disney movie or some stupid thing. This is real. This is the time we're in, and this is just another kind of article that makes you go, holy moly. This is the time we are in right now. We are seeing jetpacks now that are going to be deployed in our military, in the military perspectives.
It wasn't that long ago, Adam. If you remember, we showed on the show, they were just doing some of the early tests of taking somebody with a jetpack from one boat and getting him onto another boat while they were moving in water. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago.
That was like a year and a half ago.
Mainstreaming these things.
So, Dex, do you realize how many stories we've shown in California and other places where they're spotting jetpacks? Do you think that's...
And the latest was they thought the drone just looked like a human. It's obviously a jetpack.
So when we reported these, and press 1 right now if you remember these stories, what we've been saying, these sightings were never confirmed, right? Now, finally, they're coming out officially and saying, yes, we're using jetpacks and jetpacks are going to be a thing. Now, does it make total sense that these planes, we're seeing jetpacks flying next to them? People in regular planes, can you imagine that? Seeing, Iron Man right next to your plane flying along and going, hey. You told that to somebody when you got off the plane, they'd go, okay, we need you to see a doctor for us, okay? And take 2 of these yellow pills or bars because you're nuts. I think those were tests, and I think those were military tests that were top secret, and now we are finding out that DARPA is, of course, having these things. It says it's 2021, and although I thought by now there would be flying cars, cities on the moon, and ability to teleport from my bed to the couch instead of walking, I guess I'll settle for a jetpack, or as DARPA is calling it, a portable personal air mobility system. Wait a second. Is that really called the PP? Okay. It's called PPAMS. They didn't, for once, I cannot believe this. Do you realize how many times they put a abbreviation thing on something and they didn't put an abbreviation on this? It's called PPAMS. 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 But they didn't actually call it that. I don't know. I guess it bugs me. This is the one DARPA thing that has not been abbreviated. PPAMS. PPAMS. I'm going to take the PPAMS to work today. According to the solicitation first reported by Task and Purpose, these platforms could serve a variety of military missions, enabling cost-effective mission utility and agility in areas such as personal logistics and urban augmented combat. They're talking about, I don't even remember that movie, but it had the guy, not Iron Giant, but the Jet Man.
Iron Man?
No. Older than that. It was a guy that had a jetpack. It was like set in the 40s or something. It had like old hairstyles. It was shot in the 2000s or something. If you know it, put it in the chat below. But anyways, this is just nuts. They're going to use this in the military and soon. Like they're already approved for it, and we're going to see it happen. The next conflict is going to be bonkers. Vosh Shadow.
What's crazy, Adam, sorry, is it won't be that much longer when we look back, because I was mentioning Iron Man, and you think about the type of jetpack that he had, like, and the maneuverability of that. Well, we'll be looking back at these things that they're doing today and go, man, that's such old technology, right? It's not going to be, when you look at how you sort of take Moore's law on technology as it applies to computers, it was like an exponential growth of our capability. Well, that theory sort of applies to lots of advancements in technology. I mean, cars in 100 years are, dramatically different than they were, right? So just imagine 10 years from now what a jetpack's going to be like.
I mean, yeah, once the first iteration comes out and is approved, it's just going to get crazy from there. Then you're going to see people that are, using their social credit score points to buy a jetpack to get to their 9-to-5 rat race. Remember, there is a group, and I'll probably pull it up, but it's the WEF, the World Forum. Is that right? Am I saying that right, Dex? The World Economic.
Yes.
They basically say that in the future, and their predictions are basically going to happen, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And one thing I thought of, I believe last night, is maybe that's because you'll just be happy to be alive. Again, maybe you'll just be happy that you're safe, because something so ravaged will happen that you'll just be happy that you are alive and have a place and a roof over your head, because many people will not be. So I think it's kind of a creepy future that they say you will own nothing. They think in the next 10, 20 years, by this year, right, that all of a sudden we're not going to be a vain species that wants all of these material objects. Why would that happen? Why would something so drastically change that we would not want the big house, the big cars, and everything else? Instead, we'll be happy owning nothing in the future. And we're talking about in our lifetimes, they want to switch all of this. Now, how would they switch all of this without a major event? They can't. What kind of a major event would change the entire global economy? Oh, sorry, I'll pull it back over. Revenge instead of prevention. Why were cyber attacks against U.S. successful in the first place? Well, insiders, I don't know. Washington is accusing Russia and China of carrying out massive cyber campaigns against U.S. companies and government bodies. You see how the finger's being pointed, and they are accusing, and this is serious because SolarWinds is the largest hack ever perpetrated in history.
And look at the source.
It is Sputnik. This is Russia saying this. It says that Washington is accusing Russia and China of carrying out massive cyber campaigns against U.S. companies and government bodies, but at the same time, the White House keeps mum about how such attacks could have been carried out for months without detection. It says the hacker attacks on SolarWinds and Microsoft Outlook Exchange have become one of the key concerns of U.S. foreign policy ever since the B administration took over. It says there is little surprise here. The former affected 400 American companies and numerous government bodies, including all 5 branches of the military and the Pentagon. Well, the latter could have tens of thousands of companies around the world exposed like every part of your information out there. And it says another notable fact about these attacks is that they started in 2020, but the U.S. learned about them only recently. According to Washington, the attack on the SolarWinds software kicked off in March, but only became known to the American authorities in December. The same story is with the Outlook Exchange hack, the attack that allowed hackers to access practically any mailbox based on Microsoft service had been carried out for 2 months. Imagine what secret goodies they got. Dex, can you imagine having access to every email based on Microsoft services in the world?
Yeah, that's going to be nuts. If we start to see this stuff drip out, we'll know that they actually did something with it as opposed to held it for leverage. But yeah, there's a lot.
Machina Opus says, Real AI, you should watch the remake of A Brave New World. We can see elements of it happening now. Machina Opus, thank you for the huge support over on DLive. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Lisa K, Canadian government timeline to the Great Reset soon. Isn't that crazy? And some governments are a little bit more open about stuff than others. Kelly2334 and Lisa K, thank you guys for really sticking out tonight and supporting. Sandra in Texas, Renegade PD, Voss Shadow, Scooby-Doo Do-Right, Mystic Misfit, Maui Racing Realtor. How is everybody doing over on YouTube, by the way? We have G6 String Ronin. I almost called you something else. We've got AAA K Brown, Paul Barbacano. I think I said that right. Eric Elliott, Jenny X, 6 Van 365 in the 604. We've got Phil. We've got Gary Flesher. We've got CJ Blaze, homesteading in the Heartland. It's nice to see you as always. Julie C, Johnny Doom, Tommy Smith, Ellie 1978. Hey, thank you for coming in tonight. Go make sure to check her out as well. She's got a good live show there. Beth Fuller, great show. Awake and Aware. What is going on? Lisa R. Hall. Kim O'Donnell. We've got Knowledge 2020. Thank you. I believe you called in last night. That's awesome. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Miss Marf says, first unisex name I could think of. LOL. Let's see here. Central Illinois hanging in there. Vet Dunn. Johnny Fry, 11. Let's see here. James Pondo. Foggy Weasel. I love that. Foggy Weasel. Racketeer. The Rocketeer. That's what it was called. James Williams. Good call. Thank you. I don't know if that's really behind or it just took you that long to figure it out. I hate that when you're trying to remember something and it's right there. If you want to protect yourself against cyber threats, there's, of course, a solution for that as well. You should be looking into Nord. Again, today's show is brought to you by Nord, and everyone should be having a private network, a virtual private network. Again, you can go with anybody you want. I always am very... basically, I tell everybody just go whichever one you feel is right. This one is in the top 5 in the world. It is rated one of the highest ever. Again, that's why we picked it. But again, another reason we picked this one is because it is so easy to use. It is like a light switch. There's even a mode where you just push the on button and it turns on. I am not technologically savvy. Again, Dex is, but I rather like stuff that is very easy to use. This will protect your IP address, and it will basically put you somewhere else. You can manually go in and put yourself other places. So, like, I can go and I can put myself in Canada, or I can put myself in France. And guess what? I even get, when I do that, I get extra movies off of Netflix. I'll get movies from France that are not even shown to me when I have my IP in the U.S. All sorts of crazy things. I even tried putting myself in, I want to say Tanzania. I want to say I put it in somewhere else, and I got the weirdest movies. It was actually pretty fun. I've said it for a while, but I never tried it, and it was actually pretty cool. And then, of course, you can use the code Marfugal to get savings on it, and it will help protect yourself. It helps us out. It really does. So thank you so much for those who have done it already. And again, if anybody already has it, they'll tell you how easy it is. That's marfugalnews.com/VPN. Don't let governments or anyone data log you. And then we have scientists stunned to discover plants beneath mile-deep Greenland ice. So we're discovering like water on Mars and a whole lot more than we thought, and now we're discovering green under Greenland ice. It says in 1966, a U.S. Army scientist drilled down through nearly a mile of ice in northwestern Greenland and pulled up a 15-foot-long tube of dirt from the bottom. I think we've seen this in movies like the movie that, what was it, 2012, or one of those end-of-the-world movies where they took the core samples and they were like, these core samples are insane. It means that we're having an end of the world in 25 minutes. And we got to get Pierce Brosnan on the
It's a powerful core sample.
Yes, exactly. They know exactly, right? And it says in 2019, University of Vermont scientist Andrew Christ says looked at it through his microscope and couldn't believe what he was seeing. Twigs and leaves instead of sand and rock. This was on, again, a frozen sediment that was lost in a freezer for decades, and it was accidentally rediscovered in 2017. They saw leaves, twigs instead of sand and rock, and suggested that the ice was gone in the recent geologic past, and that the vegetated landscape, perhaps a boreal forest, stood where a mile-deep ice sheet as big as Alaska stands today. So you really want to, Dex...
That makes me think of pole shift, right?
So, well, first thing I thought of, to be honest, was like that there was something under there. And they said that there's an extra, now just a couple days ago, they reported that they believe that there is a gap between the core and something else.
Well, yeah, that's quite possible too. I mean, a mile of ice is a huge insulator. I mean, you could literally have an entire world beneath, and you'd never know it was there.
I didn't even think of pole shift. Why do you think?
I mean, and when I say pole shift, I'm not talking magnetic. I'm talking like literal. Like if the world tilted, right, and the two coldest points, the north and south, which would literally be someplace else, it wouldn't have been there, right? And so therefore, you wouldn't have had all that. You wouldn't have had a mile of ice. You would have, like a regular continent or a regular environment. So I don't know. Nobody really knows what it means, other than below a mile below ice there was once vegetation, and vegetation doesn't just grow underwater. I mean, it does, but not this type of vegetation, right?
I just wonder, like, could there possibly be a forest or live plants down there? Is something growing, or is it was in history a mile deep? I mean, that would make sense. Maybe the Earth was, different at that point. A mile, though, that is so much ice. I mean,
even if you said the poles didn't shift, right? If you just said the axis stayed the same, in my theory, you throw it out the window, and you said all of that ice had to be gone, right? So therefore it'd be liquid or moved someplace else. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of water displacement in the, the grand oceans and everything.
I mean, that would change the make out of the planet if that melted.
Exactly.
And we're back down to that greenery. Well, the one thing I wonder, though, and this sounds crazy, and this is one of my ones that because they said something the other day, and I didn't look too much into it, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a finding that they think that there is something between the mantle or the core of our planet, that there's a gap, that there's like an open area between us and the tectonic plates. Did you hear about that? Did we actually cover that, or did I just see that somewhere?
No, we haven't covered that. I'm looking it up now.
Okay.
You must have read it and we didn't cover it.
So in a gap, there's some sort of that our core might not be hollow. It's outside the mantle. Texas Rob, Zippy Moons, thank you guys. Says watch every replay. Sorry I've missed you guys. Texas Rob, no worries. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we see the views by the end of every other day is usually anywhere 40 to 50,000. So we know you are not alone. There's a lot of replay watchers. So thank you so much. Discovered Earth may have something in between. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, it was just a few days ago. this is where you guys can participate.
Search Surprise Earth Has a Secret Hidden Layer, Popular Mechanics.
Oh, wait a second. This might be part of it. Scientists and I believe structures in my brain stuck out. It says scientists detect unexpected widespread structures near Earth's core. I feel like this was something. It says University of Maryland geophysicist analyzed thousands of recordings of seismic waves, sound waves, traveling through Earth to identify echoes of the boundaries, Earth, molten core, and the solid mantle layer above it. The echoes revealed more widespread, heterogeneous structures or area of unusually dense hot rock at the core mantle boundary than previously known. Like caves or something, or some sort of internal structures. So I just thought that was kind of, if there was some sort of, what is it called? The lost land of the lost or something, like an internal planet or something. Nothing would surprise me anymore at this point. Anyways, Texas Rob, thank you. Zippy Moons, thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Kelly2334, thank you. And, of course, Out of the Woods. And then, of course, The Truth Is Out There is here tonight. So thank you. It's nice to have you. Kay Miller, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the live show, you will get a shout-out. Either way, if you would be so inclined, we put a lot of work into the show. If you could... please show any kind of emotion there, and as far as the like and dislike, either way. And if you would like to subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Zippy Moons, Linda Covington. Whoa, thank you so much, Linda Covington. I appreciate your huge support tonight. Thank you. We are, of course, truly independent, no multi-channel networks, so it does help. Marky Sparky, if you're plugged in the Matrix, you won't need anything. That is very true. Marfugal News is the only news I use, says Marky Sparky. And then Walk With Me says, I want to call in and tell my dream. 7 other people dreamed also. Attack is coming. What night is dream night? We still do not have a planned dream night. Again, there are enough people like you that we definitely have to do it now. I have no problem doing it. I like the dreams. You know what? I will get you an answer by tomorrow. As far as Walk With Me 76, I will make sure, because there's so many people asking for that kind of show, and I have no problem with it, so I know Dex doesn't either. Microbes unknown to science discovered on the ISS. What do you think about this, Dex? ISS microbes.
Like what? Yeah, they're creating some new they're not creating them, they're just naturally happening, I guess, or they're evolving. It's not surprising, but it's also kind of creepy when you think about it. Like, I don't know, you come home from ISS and you're bringing some new microbes onto Earth that have never been here before. And would they do something strange or weird?
Would you be able to read just the first paragraph of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the menagerie of bacterial and fungal species living among us is ever growing. And this is no exception in low gravity environments such as the International Space Station. But researchers from the United States and India working with NASA have now discovered 4 strains of bacteria living in different places in the ISS, 3 of which were until now completely unknown to science. So that means this is something they've never heard of before, never seen before. It's, maybe they brought it up there, but maybe they didn't. Maybe it just evolved or created itself, or they picked it up from outer space somehow. Kind of creepy, some outer space microbes. 3 of the 4 strains were isolated back in 2015 and 2016. One was found on an overhead panel of the ISS research station. The second was found in the cupole. The third was found on the surface of the dining table. And the 4th was found on an old HEPA filter returned to Earth in 2011. So there you go. It's actually coming back to Earth too, these microbes from outer space, which I guess, when you think about an asteroid coming through, if something survives inside it and on it, it can get here. We've obviously had things from other places in space.
But how would it get on there?
Wow, damn, that's the question. Did it come from outer space, or
did it get hit with something,
or did it go up there and come back?
That is weird.
What the creepy thing to me is that they're unknown, right? It's one thing if it was bacteria that's known. It's like, okay, yeah, we know what that is. That's XYZ bacteria, you know. But this is like, okay, unknown species, and we got it in space, and we brought it back to Earth, and we didn't plan on it that way, so we couldn't control it.
Either way, obviously, something is going on there. I do think about the kind of the people that are now supposedly able to pay to get up there. It's I don't know if you got to this. It says you might wonder what such soil bacteria were doing all the way up at the ISS, but the astronauts living on the space station have been growing small amounts of food for years. So it's unsurprising that we found plant-related microbes aboard. Weird. And then the ISS has all these weird stories, like the hole that they plugged with a thumb. Like, that sounds so stupid.
And didn't I hear they're using tea leaves again? They use tea leaves to figure out where the hole is.
What?
So that's their trick. And they I just read it again. They had to do it again. They like sprinkle tea leaves and they wait for it to go so they can figure out where the hole is.
Oh, they have the tea leaves fly out the hole, and like a if you're trying to find the hole in a tire, you pour water on it and look for the bubbles, right? Kind of a backwards thing.
This is the reverse of that.
That's funny. Somebody said space mushrooms. Haha. High strangeness. Yeah, they're making mushroom tea up there. Oh my gosh, I would not want to have
Space Odyssey.
I would not want to have a bad trip on the ISS. That would be pretty horrible. I don't know though. A good trip would probably be the best trip though. Probably just do that on planet Earth, and you'll think you're up there. And then, of course, Mars has much more water than previously known. There's a catch, though. They talk about it maybe floating off, right? I've seen a lot of stuff on this as far as...
well, that's the old theory, right?
Well, what? That Mars used to be a planet like ours, and then the water kind of flew off?
They claim when it lost its water, that it went out through the atmosphere and the water just went into space. But these physicists are challenging that and saying that while the way the water breaks down, it would actually have been heavier and it wouldn't have gone out into space. So therefore, it must be stored in the cracks and somewhere in the core of the planet itself. While it may have been up above, it's now down below because it wouldn't have just naturally floated off into outer space.
Sorry.
I mean, that's a really interesting perspective because it does mean if we're going there and we're mining and we're going to be, trying to colonize Mars, having an ample water supply would be critical, right? And so if it is underground, if it is in the rocks and there is a lot of water there, then that's a huge advantage when we get there. If we get there. I know some people don't even think that that's even going to happen, and that's fine. All views are fine here. But, based on this theory and based on what they're talking about, it does sound like if they're correct in the way they have modeled the information and modeled the way the water would have broken down, it's actually still there on the planet.
We're going to see a lot more that is coming out. Some people in my audience, they don't believe that space exists even. There's a good chunk of people that do not believe we're going to Mars. And with kind of everything that's come out, I don't blame you for having that view. One thing I think is I guess soon we're all going to find out. I think it's kind of crazy that people argue about it because neither one of us has actually been to space. We can have argument points all the way, but nobody's actually been there. And the people that have been there are astronauts that nobody, if you're not going to meet just hanging out. Astronauts just don't hang out with people. It's just weird. There's such a small group of people that, it's almost astronomically impossible that you're going to know one. Somebody who's been to space, right? How many people have been to space? Supposedly, right? 20? I mean, what, 20 a decade or 30 a decade? I don't know. Is it a lot more than that? I don't think so. But
not counting those mushrooms.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, that argument is possibly going to be settled in our lifetime, which I think is just mind-blowing. They're talking about by 2027 opening up a space hotel, which also begs the question, like, why? Are we going to need space hotels out there in, near Earth orbit? Are we going to need these? Is this going to be like Elysium? Is there going to be something that happens that we have to leave off of planet? I personally think that there's at least something that is going to screw us up. Think about if it screwed up our atmosphere to the point where humans couldn't live. Like if an asteroid hit and it just screwed up everything for 5 years to the point where humans could not live above ground. That is a possibility that scientists and government prepare for, but we don't. We don't think about any of these things. And really, there's no reason for that. Like, there's not much you can do to prepare except for, have a plan of, how it would all end. Pretty crazy stuff. And then if you want to actually protect yourself technologically from anybody snatching into your phone or getting into your devices or even tracking you, I highly recommend getting an eDeck bag. You can put your cell phone, your tablet, any kind of device in different size of eDeck bags. Again, these block against all signals, which means once your device goes in there, it's off grid. You're not going to be pulled in on a geo fence warrant where they said, oh, you were at 7-Eleven at 7 o'clock. Well, somebody got murdered at 7:01, so we need you to come in and be arrested and go to jail for life. Thanks. Again, go to marfugelnews.com/eDeck. Use the savings code Marfugel to get not only a discount, but to help the channel out at the same time. Dex, there is a lot of content on the website that we can't truly go over, but there is one thing that we were going to show, which was this kind of... do we have the screenshots of this explosion?
Yeah, I put those in up next. I can put them somewhere else if you need me to.
Okay, one sec. Let me see if I can access.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard while Adam's pulling that up, there was a really large explosion in California, and it turns out it was fireworks, a large cache of fireworks that exploded. But it really put off an incredible view. And a scary view. And I don't know if anybody's been hurt. I don't know what the follow-up is on the story other than just we saw some initial video of what had happened when it went off.
Now, we're showing you screenshots. This is a short video on Twitter. There's actually a reason, too. We can show you the screenshots with not worrying about it. But what's so funny, and Dex said this, too, we have never seen a post. So you know how, like, if you have a cool video of something... normally all the news stations will say, hey, we want this video. Every news station reached out to this guy and was basically like, hey, we want your video. And that is expected because this video was so crazy. These are fireworks supposedly or something. And it's much bigger, like the pictures coming up. But what's so funny is all of the people were like, oh, don't give that for free. You make them pay. Dex, how many people would you say? Everybody was like, make them pay.
Oh, yeah. There was multiple news people that asked. It's funny. I'll put the original tweet. I'll put the original video tweet on the website. I'm sorry I wasn't there earlier, but I'll put it up there.
Look at the comments. It's nuts.
Every single person is like, oh no, you got to pay for this. You got to charge for this. You can't get it for free. It was. I have never seen that because we look for stuff all the time, and you'll see news people say, hey, can I use it? And somebody usually comments back, yeah, it's no problem. But just to see the plethora of people. But
how good this video was, and it's a 20-second video, and it's almost like the guy planned it. The thing is it was smoking, so he had his cell phone out, but the explosion that he caught on camera, I'll show you. In fact, we're going to go through a couple screenshots. We wanted to be safe to just do a couple screenshots of this. Was just like, whoa. And the video is epic, so everybody's like, don't give that to the news without them paying you. Some person was like, yeah, you better be pulling up with a truck of cash, not credit, for Damien, using this guy's Twitter name. All these are just random people like, you better pay him for that because it was such an epic 20-second video. The guy, and honestly, this guy, if you have a video like this, Most people just say, hey, they want to be on TV or they want their name mentioned. They'll tune in at 6 and go, honey, they're using my video on the channel Sevenster. Right there, that's my name. All of the letters right there. They're all together. Look at it. They even got my middle initial. But really, those news places, they're used to paying people like $500 per little video. Something like this, I would say this guy could have sold this to, what do you call it? One of those tabloid things. That's a good video. If you see it, it's just absurd. Let me go to this last picture. This lady is standing there, and you see her like start to run. It was such an epic shot. It was almost out of a movie. Boom. And then it's way bigger too. And then he looks up. I hope you got the... Yeah, by the end point, it was so huge. It was just, like, if you looked straight up, the cloud was above you. And you could still see all of the stuff popping and just, blasting. So I wonder what the whole situation... Did we ever get an update of why this happened? It obviously looks like fireworks, but was that what it was? Dex, did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I was just typing to try and find out an update. So yeah, unfortunately, it looks like 2 people have perished in the Southern California fireworks explosion. So it's a home explosion that had a large amount. That's what I thought when I first saw it, and I think I even mentioned that to you. I said I think it was a house, but I wasn't sure because you can't tell in that video. It could have easily just been maybe a fireworks factory for that matter, but it does appear to, based on the headlines, be a home, and apparently 2 people have unfortunately perished in that.
Well, I'm praying for the family of those lost, and I really do feel bad to have that happen. I just wonder what was happening. I guess they were stockpiling fireworks in that house. Was it did they own a small fireworks stand? Did Beirut come to visit them? I don't know what happened there, but anyways, moving on. Dex, there's lots of content on there. If you guys want to access it, marfugelnews.com. This is including the original tweet with the video. If you want to watch the exciting and utterly crazy video, make sure to go do so. And then, of course, you can follow us on all of our other platforms if you go to the website as well. All right, and then, Dex, in closing, is there anything else that would you like to say?
Now more than ever is a great time for you to reestablish your preps. I know I've said this a lot, but there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot we've heard over and over again, even in this show. And I think fundamentally we get back to our core about lifting one another up, helping each other out. And that also means helping yourself and making sure that you're going to be able to take care of yourself, not the government, not someone else. So, now's a good time to do that. Now's a good time to think about what you're going to do to protect yourself and then help the ones around you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Dex, for your amazing services. Thank you, mods. Everybody, all the mods out there doing their part to keep it a positive and awesome place to be. Again, thank you. It looks like we had on YouTube some crazy people, 2 old people on a couch. Thank you so much for your awesome support. Walk with Me, thank you for your support. John Raxness, thank you again. And then, of course, Linda Covington, thank you. And then, Dex, if you so could, I cannot see the top 5 on DLive, so if you could read those out loud, and then
absolutely,
we will do our outro.
Absolutely. And number 5, the number 5 position is Machina Opus. Thank you very much. Number 4, Kelly 2334. Thank you very much. Number 3, Jawson. Number 2 would be Texas Rob 49. Thank you. And the number 1 position is Stormy Weather.
I thought so.
Coming in with They
did the ninja. The ninja. Thank you, Stormy Weather. Again, usually the top 3 over on DLive and the top 1 or 2. Again, Susan Donahue, wherever you are, you had a lot of songs wrote about you. But the top people usually get a song in the shoutro or a little jingle with their name in it. it's a stupid way that I've always done to kind of say thanks to the people that matter most. Again, this has only been possible because of you guys. Otherwise, we'd probably be once a week show back when I was working 12 hours a day at my job. So thank you so much, everybody that supports us. We want to grow. We want to expand. So it really does matter. We are truly independent. We've gone through all to hell and back with you guys, and you have stuck by my side every moment of the way. I can't even tell you how many things have happened where, we've had lawyers come and get our back for free because they love our show. Like, we've had so many just downright crazy things happen, and you have been with me every step of the way. So thank you so much. My music sucks. Stick around.
Elizabeth had a fella. Oh man, that dude is scary on the rilla. Oh yeah. Stormy weather, getting better. Oh, yes, I love the letter. A on B to the R to a Z O N, yes, a Q. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sparky, I did a walk with me, 76 and 2 old people in the G. K. Miller. I just want to say a special thank you to Zippy Moons. Thank you for the massive support. Linda Covington. A special shout out to Gone Girl 777. Susan Donahue, praying for you. Hope you are good wherever you are. Thank you so much for your massive support. To everybody out there that is having rough times, we are not far behind, so thank you. I got the Stewie and the Poco Loco. Bring it right down, and this ain't no joke. Jamie on the Miller, no on the filler. Gas, electric, and a rockin' live. I bring it right and I bring it right. I Colin Morrison. I'm gonna go and tell the dawn. And the Shauna Jones, that is. I kiss the sky and the Mariona singing the stellar RC, bring it right fella. I know that I gotta go tell her. Hey, Jenna Moss and the Earth Observer. I just really wanna be wait, no, I don't on the mark on the corner. I'm gonna go right around the corner. Hey, Shauna Jones and what just go with love, doing everything they can do. Oh, now with the Trinity Wise, do it right back in the Trinity Dies. the stormy weather. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. Stormy, 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 stormy. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. Stormy, 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 stormy. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. Stormy, 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 stormy. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. Stormy, 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 stormy. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. Stormy, 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 stormy. There's nothing better than the stormy weather. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey, Sparky's run, spread the love and frugal fun. La 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 la. La 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 la. I got the Sparky's run, Kate Miller, zippy moons. Everybody really wanna be a killer, but they don't wanna do that. Here on act, on the walk with me, 76 in the back. Gotta walk right on that down, going right back downtown town, where it's ruined with all the holy encampment on top of it. Oh, everybody sees it on the love, on the love. Oh, on the love, all the love. Bring it down, bring it down. Zippy moon, zippy, zippy moon. La 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 la. Linda Covington. Linda Covington. La 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 la. Linda Covington. Linda, 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 Linda Covington. 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 Hey, Linda, walk with me. Marcusburgy and the Mr. C. Vault 1-1, Matrix 4-5. Grego 2 in the Bosch Monster ride. Oh, now go and they stop it right. Gentlemen and the Mr. Stellar C. Bring it right bang like you don't know me. Linda, Linda Covington. Linda, Linda Covington. Thank you, Boss Brew, for following on D-Live. May 645. I bring you a high five. I bring you by my side. May 645. Thanks for being by my side. Matrix 45. 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 It was a little bit off, going back talk. Do it like now, and drop it on down. La la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I got to spread that love and I love it. Bring it right back and I push and I shove it. I'm at your face off like it made the hog does. Draws for the last of my car, cause he all the cocktail Molotov. They wanna see a riot, they take a riot. They wanna see a riot, they take a riot. They wanna see a riot, take a riot. They wanna see a riot, they take a riot. They wanna see a riot, take a riot. I brought that Sparky run, and they knew I was done, and they dropped it down. Let's make a fresh one. This never really works live, but we'll try it. auntie.
With the team
them whole emojis. Bring it down, and you know now we can't hear the sound. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Like a big old band in the sheet of van, down with the face I hurt. Going down and you got him down, and now you can get him on hiker. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. I'm already twisted, said to your master, oh please don't overact. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Oh, not a V-V-R-N-G ride, oh I know I still don't nod. I bring my head and I buy, no matter what is up. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. I'm gonna go bring it on down and down, and if I know I really wanna hit it back now. Oh yeah, I'm planning on the day set on. I text you, I'm gonna get it back on now. I'm melody dawn and the dove and round, and the night bright gonna go back in the night. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Johnson, I said Johnson, Johnson in Warrior, walking with me home. Johnson, walking, never going down. Who's number 2 here? Let's see. Texas Rob knows it by, oh, down. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Texas Rob knows his job, oh, hold me down. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Stormy weather, never been better, don't hold me down. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Texas Rob knows his job, he's gonna pull us up. Have a good night, Monty Grip. Thank you, Thor Odinson. Shastina, thank you, Johnson. Once again on the leaderboard. Unmentioned, but always appreciated. Too many people out there. Safe. Thank you so much for your massive support. Make sure to check out Safe on DLive, SAIF. Fairy Spirit 2112. Zippy Moons, Machine Opus, Vault 111111. And of course, Kelly 2334. I got a clue up inside of me. I'm never leaving, gonna go see. I just wanna go back home. I just want to go back home. I just Murphy's Law is late. Oh, no. Murphy's Law is late. Stop. No metronome. Murphy's Law just got here. I guess we have to start the whole show over again. Hi, my name is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Welcome. Murphy's Law. If it can happen, it will happen. All that jazz. We'll be right back right after this. Just kidding. I've never been better. Go back home. I just want to go back home. I just want to go back home. Have a good night. I just want to go back home. Marfoogle.